Hi and welcome to the Booklab. It's that time of the month when we look at the new and upcoming releases, this time for May 2025. This is probably one of the best months this year so far because I have a bunch of books. I have 6 books that I want to present on a wide range of topics, talking about the psychology of revenge, creativity, having strong boundaries and the importance of that, truth itself, and also possibly a great biography by a great biographer. And also I will sprinkle some other tips with books that I can think about when I talk about this topic, some favorites from my own bookshelf. So welcome. Hi and welcome to the Book Lab. I'm Björn, and today I'm sitting in a little bit of a closet recording, and I will talk more about why that is after we finish the list. I also noticed some viewers, some old colleagues watching this channel now. Hi Vendla. I will try not to be too self-conscious about recording this with that knowledge in mind. We'll just jump right into the list, and we'll start with Inflation, a Guide for Users and Losers by Mark Blyth and Nicolò Fraccaroli. This book is out on May 6th. A fresh, revealing and myth-busting guide to the ins and outs of inflation from 2 leading political economists. Inflation is back and its impact is felt everywhere. You probably felt it too. From the grocery store to the mortgage markets to the results of elections around the world. What's more, tariffs and trade wars threaten to accelerate inflation again, yet the conventional wisdom about inflation is still stuck in the past. If you've been following this channel for a while, I've been talking a lot about inflation, especially about monetary debasement of currency, and you and I both know that what happened in 1971 when we decided to, well, hard money is not for us anymore. Let's not have the dollar pegged to gold and use fiat currencies instead that is backed by basically nothing, allowing for all types of games to be played on top of it. And as we know from history, all fiat currencies is going to zero, and that's why people like to hoard gold or Bitcoin or to use real estate as a store of value. This book seems to have a broader look at inflation. Quote, since the 1970s, there's only really been one playbook for fighting inflation: raise interest rates and thereby create unemployment and a recession, which will lower the prices. But this simple story hides a multitude of beliefs about why prices go up and how policymakers can wrestle them back down, beliefs that are often wrong, damaging, and have little empirical evidence and basis. Leading political economist Mark Blyth and Nicolò Fraccaroli reveals why inflation happens, challenge how we think about it, and argue for a fresh approach to combat it. Inflation is a must-read for anyone who wants to understand the forces shaping the economy and politics. And I want, on that topic, if you're interested, one book that I have read and I recommend is The Price of Tomorrow: Why Deflation is the Key to an Abundant Future by Jeff Booth. This book presents a really interesting thesis about how free markets are always deflationary, and it talks about why that actually isn't the case and why inflation still goes rampant in today's debt-based economies. So that's an interesting book. I have a full review of that if you're interested. Let's jump into the next book: Proof, the Art and Science of Certainty by Adam Kucharski. It's out on March 6th. It's an award-winning mathematician that wrote this book, and that shows how we can prove what's true and what to do when we can't. This book spans mathematics, science, politics, philosophy, economics, and this book offers the ultimate explorations of how we can find our way to proof, and just as importantly, of how we can go forward when supposed facts falter. Just an interesting concept: truth, evidence, all that. It brings my mind to a book I read a while back. not necessarily on the same topic, but on the topic of physics and math, which is really at the base of reality as we know it. It's Richard Feynman's 6 Easy Pieces in Essential Physics Explained by its Most Brilliant Teacher. This is probably, even though it's a bit hard to understand, it's probably the most accessible introduction you can get to like really advanced physics, like quantum physics. It had me understand concepts that I've heard people trying to explain to me before, but it was only when I read this book that it actually, the pieces of the puzzle fell together in a somewhat orderly fashion. So I really recommend this book. Feynman is a very interesting character. So that was the book, The Art and Science of Certainty. Will it be the pick of the month? Who knows? We'll see at the end of this video. Next book, book number 3, Who Deserves Your Love? How to Create Boundaries to Start, Strengthen and End Any Relationship by Casey Davis. It's out on May 6th as well. A gentle approach to hard relationships. This is a new practical approach to relationships from celebrated therapist Casey Davis. I actually don't know who it is, but this book sounded interesting anyway. She will help you determine which relationships are right for you, which are not, and what to do about them. Is love conditional? What about relationships when people actually try to hurt you? And when should you step away? Having strong personal boundaries is of key importance, of course, and I'm a bit of a people pleaser in terms of personality, so I need to keep evolving my boundaries. And on that topic, I have another book that I reviewed called Boundaries. No shit, Sherlock. When to say yes, when to say no, and how to take control of your life. This was a really interesting book. There's some really good takeaways from it. Disclaimer is that it's written from and to a Christian audience. So if you're sensitive to that kind of stuff, I could see past that, but it's a good book. Check out the full review I've got on that one. If you struggle with boundaries, then books can actually help, because there's a lot of like mindsets and tools that you can pick up from books when it comes to boundaries. Super important. Casey Davis helps you navigate decisions in every type of relationships, whether it's romantic or platonic, recognizing that it's not always realistic to cut loose people who rattle you. She explores also how you can protect yourself in those situations. So that sounds like a good book. I'm due for a book on personal boundaries. Book number 4, if I could keep the count. Hopefully it's book number 4. The Creative Choice. The Science of Making Decisions to Turn Ideas into Action by Zorana, Ivcevic, Pringle. It's out on May 6th as well. A big day for books. A groundbreaking correction of the myth that creativity is a trait that you're born with. Instead, a Yale scientist proves that creativity is a decision that you make over and over again. Anyone who has ever participated in a brainstorming session knows that most of us do not lack ideas. The problem is usually that people lack the ability to take action on those ideas and bring them from their head out into the real world, and that's what this book is about. To turn inspiration to real achievement, you must decide to act, and then decide to act again and again despite obstacles, until your thoughts take shape and come to life. This is what psychologist Zorana calls the creative choice, or the creativity choice. So this book promises to show you how to get started and how to navigate situations when you run into obstacles. And it also provides stories of people who've taken their ideas and brought them to life in big and small ways. Another book that really helped me on the creative side, because when it comes to creativity, is very closely tied to routine, in my opinion. Usually you need a routine in order to be creative, and sometimes we feel like the word routine and the word creativity don't really match that well. But you have to make space for creativity in order to be creative. If you want to write a book, you need to schedule time to sit down on your ass on a chair and write, even though you don't feel like it, so that you're ready when the muses come. And one book that I really recommend is Do the Work. No, it's called Turning Pro. It's by Steven Pressfield, a really short and sweet book that really tackles the struggles of creativity, imposter syndrome, the routine of creativity, and the fear or the resistance that you meet when you try to do something creative, unique, and authentic. So the book for creativity this month is The Creativity Choice. The next book is actually a biography. It's called, plain and simple, Mark Twain, and it's by Ron Chernow. That's what brought it to the list. I don't know too much about Mark Twain myself, and I would love to read up about it, but I know a lot about this biographer because I've read a few books of his, like this one, Grant, and I thought I brought another one. Well, it's not here, but it's Titan. It's a biography of Rockefeller. So, this guy, famous for very detailed, very thick books. This book about Grant was actually really, really good. And now he's writing about Mark Twain. In this richly nuanced portrait of Mark Twain, acclaimed biographer Ron Chernow brings his considerable powers to bear on a man who shamelessly sought fame and fortune and crafted his own persona with meticulous care. Pulitzer Prize-winning biographer Ron Chernow illuminates the full, fascinating and complex life of the writer long celebrated as the father of American literature, Mark Twain. Drawing on Twain's bountiful archives, including thousands of letters and hundreds of unpublished manuscripts, Chernow masterfully captures the man whose career reflected the country's westward expansion, industrialization, and foreign wars. Chernow reveals the magnificent and often maddening life of one of the most original characters in American history. So this is probably a dense brick of a book, but if you're interested in Mark Twain, I think this is a no-brainer. This is something to pick up. And I'm due for a new biography. I haven't read one in a while, and I feel like going into this summer vacation in a few months, I might pick up one. I have one in my queue called The Indigenous. I don't remember the title, but I will put a picture here. I think it's called The Ingenious Mr. Pike. That's one I want to look into. Last book on the list, The Science of Revenge. Understanding the World's Deadliest Addiction and How to Overcome It by James Campbell Jr. It's out on May 27th. There's a hidden addiction plaguing humanity right now. Revenge. Researchers have identified retaliation in response to real and imagined grievances as the root cause of most forms of human aggression and violence. Such an interesting topic to investigate. I have never seen a book on this topic before. The book promises to weave together neuroscience, psychology, sociology, and human history in a captivating way. Yeah, this sounds right up my alley, as I'm always interested in understanding human nature and what makes us tick. Kimmel shines an unsparing light on humanity's pathological obsession with revenge throughout history, his own struggle with revenge addiction that almost led him to commit a mass shooting, America's growing addiction to revenge as a special brand of justice, and the startlingly similar addictive behaviors and motivations of childhood bullies, abusive partners, aggravated employees, sparing politicians, street gang members, violent extremists, mass killers, and tyrannical dictators. Exactly the book that I want to read, right up my alley. And that's the list. I hope you found something here that you found interesting. And before we go into pick of the month, because I always pick one book each month that is like top choice, I just wanted to ask you to like and subscribe if you ever gotten any value or picked up any book recommendations from this channel. That really helps me reach more people. And I will pick a book, and I will actually pick The Psychology of Revenge. What's that the name even? The Science of Revenge. It just sounds like a topic I haven't read up about that would help me understand the human condition and human nature at a deeper level. It also sounds like it's not too complicated and like a good introduction to the topic. So that's my pick of the month. Let me know which one of these books you would pick up if you had to choose one. Why am I sitting here? The fact is that it's really late at night actually. I had some trouble getting time to record because there's been a lot of things going on right now. So I just barely was able to get some time to sit down and record a video. So maybe instead of the regular a video every week or so, it might be like 1.5 weeks between the reviews right now, because it's just like busy times. It's been a lot of things going on with the scout group that I joined. Both my kids have birthdays and we have visitors, and we're gonna repaint one of the rooms here, so it's just one of those months. But I think at the end of May things will be at its more regular pace with more book reviews. So hopefully that's the case. I've said it before, but I've been late before as well. Let me know what you're reading in the comments, and I'll see you next week or in the next week and a half. Happy reading. Björn out.